Hi, I'm Scott. I'm a divine being. Um, been considering my the time I spent in recovery from addictive behaviors. Uh, my addiction. I'm not suggesting that I didn't experiment with drugs, but my big one was booze. And please note that anybody who's familiar with programs, you raise your hand. I'm so and so, and I am my addiction. One might hear in one might hear in an AA meeting. Hi, my name is so and so. I'm an alcoholic. I am. Um, Whatever. And that's why I said, hi, I'm Scott. I'm a divine being. If I'm going to choose to label myself something, I'm going to label myself something that's, you know, I haven't forgotten my addiction. I haven't swept it under the carpet, or I am to this day mindful of it. And my first shot, uh, vigorously attempting to get sober, to get clean, sober. I dabbled with opiates. Um, uh, Dabbled with opiates. Come on, Scott. What else? Was there anything else? Really, truly, was there anything else? I mean, money, sex, you name. You can be addicted to anything. I can be addicted to that mouse. Technology. Um, I have the capacity. I have an addictive personality. I can be addicted to a person. You know, um, on and on and on. Um, but my experience, I'm going to try to keep it concise. And what did I experience in my experience engaging in that 12-step program? My first round, I got sober in 2001. My life was, outwardly, I was doing very well outwardly. Had a business, a very successful business. I had toys. Had a beautiful wife. Um, we had a house and a rental property. We had a store. Outwardly, if I was a third party looking in at my life, I'd go, yeah, that guy's got it. He's got his shit together. Uh, no. my entire life, um, my entire life at that point revolved around making money and partying. It was game on, man. Let's have fun. Let's enjoy the fruits of our labor. And by fruits, I meant potatoes turned into vodka and grapes turned into wine. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it until I didn't enjoy it anymore. Um, that's an addiction, and I'm cool with that. In my divinity, I am cool with that right now. There are 100 other things that I could be doing right now that I'm well aware of in my healing. This is the lingering one, and I mean, some people would even say, caffeine and sugar, whatever. That could be an addiction too. It's what is it doing to me? Um, so please don't judge. I try not to judge others. Um, get focused, Scott. Um, my experience in the 12-step program, I was desperate. I knew that if I kept going, I got sober in 2001. I relapsed in 2006 and got sober again. It didn't happen the first time. I wasn't some miracle child. Um, but that goes to, I hadn't dealt in that first period of my sobriety, I hadn't really dealt with why was I drinking in the first place? Why was I doing drugs in the first place? Why was I engaging in behaviors in the first place? Why did I marry my first wife in the first place? Why did all my relationships fail? All these things that, yeah, the and coming to the understanding that the booze or the drug or the substance or the sex or the money, those are symptoms of an underlying problem. I wasn't happy. you know, and I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with myself. I wasn't content in my own skin. Fear, doubt, and insecurity, etc., etc., etc. But I engaged in that 12-step program, and I did everything I was told to do. And however, that right from the get-go, right from the very start, I picked up on there was a distorted energy about the meetings and the group. And if you're considering sobriety, I'm not telling, don't, hey, listen to that. That's, if you think you got a problem, you probably do. If there's an issue with drinking and drugs and sex or money, whatever it is for you, whatever it is, food, whatever, gambling. If it's bothering you, it's bothering you. I'm not suggesting that people don't go out and seek help. Please, please. We want you and we need you. Please rise into your divinity. And this isn't AA speak. This is me. But my experience is very early on in AA. I was there to get sober, man. I wasn't there to hook up. I wasn't there to get a date. I wasn't there to have sex out in the parking lot. I wasn't there to fix somebody's house, etc. And I definitely picked up very early on that there was an element of there was a predatory element in that environment, in that 12-step program. And I found that to be discouraging, and perhaps it slowed things down for a lot of people who would otherwise have made progress. And this predatory element, and male and female. I'm not pointing fingers at guys solely or women. So it was a, there was dudes that perhaps had a bit of sobriety under their belt, who technically should have known better. That would it was a very predatory environment. And then there was women who, I was 35 at the time. I was in good shape, and there was a predatory element from females, But I found a smaller group within that group of people, male and female, who were there to get sober. They just wanted to get sober. They wanted to get clean, I can't go on with my life this way anymore. And I'm thinking of one particular person in general, specifically, not in general, specifically. And this is how pervasive it was. I'll give you this one. So she and I would frequently go to meetings together, not together in the same car, but we felt safe around one another. And she was frequently accosted. Yeah, she a very attractive woman, But that didn't matter. I'll tell you, that didn't matter. It didn't matter young, old, short, fat, thin, tall. There's a screw for every nut, and it didn't matter. But she happened to be very attractive. Um, and it was a constant, relentless thing. She was there to get sober. She wanted to get clean and sober, and she was invested in her sobriety. And it was just a constant, relentless thing. She'd walk into the meeting and we'd make eye contact. There's a seat right here for you, right next to me, and there was a couple of her, couple of us. But I'd see her walk in, and she'd be rolling her eyes, and I knew what that meant. Somebody said something, somebody made a rude comment, whatever. And this one particular occasion, she had had enough, man. She had had enough. And she walked in, and I turned my head. I saw her coming in, and I turned my head, and we made eye contact as she was walking toward me, and it was a bit more than her rolling her eyes, man. She was PO'd. She was pissed, She was upset, and she sat down next to me, and it was visceral. It was tangible, man. She was sitting next to me, and I'm like, and looked at her, what's up, And, she rolled her eyes and, shrugged her shoulders. And, okay, all right, if you want to, we had talks before that, And again, it was, it wasn't gender specific. There was cougars and there was pervs, there was women who were very aggressive toward me, but we kind of stuck together. So halfway, whatever it was through the meeting, through that particular meeting, there was a moment where the meeting opened up and it was okay to share. It was okay to raise your hand, stand up and say something. As soon as that happened, she didn't raise her hand. She just stood up and she lost it. She was like, I came here to get sober, and this is, and to quote her, this is the biggest group of incestuous people I've ever met, and it was very, she had had enough, and I'm looking at her and I'm like, you are the shit, and I started clapping, and she left the meeting. I ended up talking to her later, but you could have heard a mouse fart. It was so quiet when she did that, and I was just like, I was in awe. It was just an amazing thing to experience. Her claiming her body, So, in that regard, please, if you're inclined to get sober, please check it out. They're take the valuable parts and leave the garbage behind. As far as like there is some valid information, there's some valid teaching in getting sober through that 12-step program. I'm here to tell you, I got sober again in 2006, and here we are, 2020, almost 2021, and I'm still sober. So there was a lot that I learned. My particular stance, my position now, though, I haven't been to a meeting probably now 3 years, 2 years, 2 years, 3 years. The last time I went, there was meetings around the holidays that went straight through the entire holiday season around Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, Thanksgiving. They would have these marathon meetings, and that was one of the last meetings I went to 2 or 3 years ago. And it was disheartening because I saw people there that people are there to get sober, man. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. They want to get sober, They don't need somebody hitting on them, male and female alike. What are you doing? You're just trading one addiction for another. You're putting down the bottle, but you're jumping into bed with everybody. It's just like a band-aid. You're not really dealing with what's going on in here. Um, and I took issue with hi, my name is Scott. I am a divine being. I am a divine being. I am not the label of my addiction. I'm you know I am not the label of my addiction. I am a divine being. But I don't want to lose my point. If you're questioning, please, by all means, just go in there with open eyes. If you really truly want to get sober, and there's other places to go too. There's I'm thinking of the hospital. There's a hospital facility in my close proximity in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and they have a rehab facility. They're going to suggest you go to AA meetings, and just be mindful when you walk into that or any other 12-step program that there's other people who are they're in a state of their own dis-ease, and you get two sick people together. Depending on the environment, you get two sick people together. That doesn't make one well person. This is a little bit of the AA jargon, so just be mindful. Keep those eyes open, because you're there to get sober. Just like I was there to get sober, just like my female friend was there to get sober. We don't need the other. We don't need the. We're there to get sober. We're not there to hook up. And if anybody else, hey, leave those people alone. Hey, leave them alone. They're there to get sober. If I just, my experience overall, here I am. I'm here to tell you, so 2001, I relapsed in 2006, and here we are in 2020. I've been sober ever since. So roughly 19 years of sobriety, combined total, whatever. And, out of that 19 years, I would say that 15 of those years, I was actively somewhat engaged in my 12-step program, but there was too many things that I couldn't, in good conscience, continue returning. Let's just say I fell out of alignment with some of the dogma, and I came in my own experience to a feeling or a sense that it was just a simple, like, from my experience, it was just I was trading one religion for another religion for another religion, and in my experience, I viewed AA as a religion, and that's why I backed off. And the predatory element was pretty strong, so I was like, it's definitely easier, or it's better to have a guide, like someone might refer to as a sponsor. It might be easier to traverse that with somebody who's walked in the landmine field ahead of you and can kind of help you traverse that. I'm not suggesting that what I'm offering here is find your sobriety, but go into it with open eyes, and just protect yourself. There's no need to add insult to injury. By exposing yourself to a predatory element, and I don't know, but I am hi, my name is Scott. I am a divine being. I'm a divine being. This is my kingdom, and if sobriety or getting clean or stopping a behavior, a behavior is causing you pain, gambling, sex, food, whatever it is, you can be addicted to that mouse. You know what I'm saying? Be addicted to anything. There's no judgment here. I've experienced a fair amount, within my own life, and be addicted to anything. Money's another one. So with that, all right. Well, here I got a couple of minutes left. There was a strong push. There was a strong push to call out in AA, like that it was strongly recommended that you find a higher power. And if I could go back, my higher power was based on my dogmatic and imposed religious upbringing through Catholicism and Jehovah's Witness. That's how I manifested or understood my higher power. And I'm here to tell you that while I ascribe to that, during a better part, I came to some awareness that there's a part of me that is, shall we say, in an ascended position. There is a part of my spirit, my soul, my being, my essence. If you have an aversion to religion or the concept of higher power or God, there's, I've heard some pretty ridiculous suggestions about, how to choose a higher power. I remember there was this one guy who suggested that you choose, if you can't figure it out, choose a light bulb. A light bulb's filled with electricity, and electricity can kill you. That's a higher power than you. And I was like, what are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? But I firmly believe that there's something within us all that we have a oneness. And I don't mean within a 12-step program, but as a humanity, there is that our essence, who we really are in our, shall we say, individuality, but who we are as a collective. And my higher essence, the higher power that exists within me. And I would have gone back and I would have maybe done things a little bit differently, as far as, because I was just perpetuating a religious, dogmatic belief. But with that, it's gonna wrap up. So if you're interested, there's no judgment here, man. I've seen it all, done it all, been it all, whatever, man, whatever. If you have questions or concerns or whatever, I'm going to leave my email in the description box. And if you have questions, I can maybe guide you to a meeting somewhere in your area. It's pretty easy to find. They're pretty easy to find. But you are valuable and important, and you are worth your sobriety. You are worth breaking through that barrier, that source, that reason, that cause why you picked up the drink or the drug or the sexual behavior or the money or the food. You are worth your healing. You are worth it. You are a divine, amazing, infinite being with infinite potential. And I love you. In case nobody's told you that today, I love you. And I offer you a peace and a love that surpasses all understanding. Have a wonderful day. Take care.